or run-in with Pakistan's dangerous gangs. I had a pretty scary run-in with Pakistan gangs during my visit to Pakistan. This isn't some paranormal story of any sort, but I genuinely had a feeling I wasn't going to make it out of my trip alive. For context, me and 3 of my friends planned a trip to go to Pakistan. I'm going to call me friends Bob, John, and Joe just for this story. This wasn't our first time going to Pakistan, since 3 of us have been raised in the country, so we have a good idea of what to expect. Between all 4 of us, one of our friends has never been to Pakistan, Bob, so we had plans to show him around, and one of the places just happened to be this area that essentially acts as a prostitution center for the city. Me and a couple of friends, not the ones that I traveled with, have been to this area before to mess around with the locals, and it's pretty easy to get in and out before any cops stop you. Speaking of cops, given the country's rep, many of the cops were often indulging in acts with the prostitutes themselves. So it was safe to say I had a good idea of what to expect. Because we were young guys and find literally everything funny, we wanted to take our friend, Bob, to this market-like area. Our friend also seemed intrigued mainly because it's impossible to find a brothel-like setting in Canada. So during our trip, it's all we kind of talked and laughed about our trip there. Once we landed, we booked a good hotel, one that doesn't have police raids consistently, and slept for the night. Next day we unpacked, and after a breakfast we left the house to roam the streets a little bit. During the first day we didn't do much outside of street exploration, which my friend Bob found interesting. On the second day we started to make some solid plans on actually attempting to go to the prostitution area. One of the most important items we needed was transportation. We had plans to book a car for our travel needs, but for this area we specifically needed a motorcycle. The reason why is because of the reputation of that area. Many drivers would not be willing to go into the actual brothel area. And there are also tight roads that cars can't really pass through. These areas are the actual hubs of the market. So me and my friends decided to book 2 cheap motorcycles that we could use. License wasn't an issue in that country, so we weren't worried, and we have had good training of riding bikes before, since that is the country's main transportation method. Me and John decided to ride the bikes since we had the most experience. By day 4 of our trip, we had everything set up and we were ready to go. We made our way towards the market in about 20 minutes, all while dodging the police. Once we got there, we realized most of the area had changed. Pretty much the area got worse than before. The roads leading into the brothel areas were all messed up. There were people sitting on the streets doing hard drugs. There were syringes, lighters, everything, all on the sidewalks of the area. This took all of us back because we had never seen this in that area, especially out in the public. Traveling down furthermore, we witnessed and found out some more stuff. Apparently the area was slowly overtaken by some Pakistan gangs. And so many of the girls who used to work under their own will were now being used for business purposes. There were many people carrying arms on the streets as well, which I could only assume were some gang members. But we decided to push a little further since we thought we were getting close. Once we made it to the actual prostitution hub, where most girls were, we didn't even feel like messing with them anymore. We were honestly more spooked. Then while talking to some girls, my friend, Bob, pulled out his phone and started recording the area. Now this is a big no-no. Even before the shitty state the area has fallen into, people were not allowed to pull out their phones and record. This is mainly because many of the girls are doing this without their family being aware, and apparently what I learned after my trip is that the media in Pakistan eats up footage of areas like this. So now imagine the reaction of the people there of a guy who already doesn't look like he belongs, publicly recording the area and the people there. Yeah, we got into some deep shit at that point. A whole crowd formed yelling and screaming to my friend Bob to stop recording and delete the video. Bob freaked out as anyone would and listened. Joe also freaked out and was whispering to me to start up the motorbikes and leave. I agreed and gave John the "let's get the fuck out of here" look. We were getting ready to leave fast, but then some gang members showed up. Many of the members were armed and focused at us, mainly my friend Bob. At that point, all of our hearts dropped. Bob couldn't utter a single response to the gang members' questions. They were all extremely pissed off about my friend's recording even after he deleted it. To make matters worse, one of the guys had a gun trained on me for some reason. There was no way the bike was outrunning a bullet. I've seen people who get caught recording get into deep trouble by the locals there, but with the addition of the street drugs and plague the area and the gang presence, a small matter became worse. The only thing left to do was plead. Mine and 3 other people's life was on the line, so I chose to get off my motorcycle and talk. There was no other way out of it except talking. I couldn't speak a single sentence without stuttering, but I didn't care because at that moment, playing the hero might have gotten us shot. By some miracle, some police showed up and the crowd dispersed. The gang members also moved away, but seemed unfazed about the police showing up. Other people started leaving, and so me and my friends took this chance to also leave. We started our bike, didn't even give it a chance to fully start up, and drove off. Me and my friends were kind of messed up for the rest of our trip, probably almost having died if the police didn't show up. I wish I could say the story ended there, but what makes this a truly horrifying memory is that close to the end of our trip we would get knocks on our hotel room door during the middle of the night. Joe was the first to notice, and the days leading up to our flight out we all noticed it. We still don't know if these occurrences were related to our experience at the market or not, but we assumed so. The knocks were also weird, like 3 knocks and then nothing for the rest of the night. I did some research into the area before leaving the country and found out that a reporter had once gone there to record footage and gather an interview with the locals and girls in that market. A week after he had posted his footage, we was shot dead. I don't know if me and my friends were going to meet the same fate if we had opened the door, but I'm glad to say it stayed shut. We left the country and never made plans to return. I had made plans to go there, but I know I'm never gonna even think about going to that market area again.